Recently, I made another one of those pendants where I inlay Damascus steel with silver. These take a lot of time and energy to make, but I wanted to see if I could overcome a challenge that has been a problem for me ever since I started making art. The third dimension. You see, I make these by cutting the design out of steel and then meticulously filing every single part until they're visually perfect. The problem with those triangles in the middle of this design is that they are free-floating, and I can't opt out of unfair mechanics like gravity. So let me take you on a journey through the convoluted way that I solved this. Many years ago, a knife maker that I knew showed me the stuff that he used to join the guard to the blade of a knife that he was working on. It melts around 400 degrees Fahrenheit, so it won't ruin the temper. I used this stuff to stick the main body of the pendant to a sheet of copper. Then I drilled holes behind where those triangles should be going, filled the whole thing with clay, and positioned them where they looked good. I then dropped some crazy glue all up in there and drilled through the back of it using those holes as a guide. After cleaning out the clay and taking those triangles out, I drilled them a little bit more and then tapped them. This let me screw them in place so that way they wouldn't move when I went to solder them. And so I did. And they didn't. I think I may have overheated it a little bit. That blue means it now has a spring temper, but for something like this, that's not really a big deal. After taking out the screws, I went ahead and made the inlay portion. This part takes a really long time because I have to manually cut the design out of a thick gauge sheet of silver, and then there's a lot of stop and go as I'm filing it, and then checking the fit, and then filing it, and then checking the fit, until eventually the piece fits in place. After that, it was just a matter of smacking with a hammer, then smacking with a punch, and then smacking it with a smaller hammer. I learned a lot from making this one, as well as the previous pendant. I plan on making one for myself in the near future, and I'm hoping it turns out even better with the knowledge that I now have. Oh, also, I only have 3 minutes for these videos, so I couldn't really get into why I made the choices I made, so I wrote a complete breakdown on my blog, which you can find on my website right here. I meant to get this video out a lot sooner, but I've been kind of, busy these past couple of weeks with, personal projects. And not because I fell down a crafting rabbit hole for a 20-year-old game.